Good morning, I'm Wendy Burke, and this is the CBC Morning Report for Thursday, June 2nd. In our top story, there's a suggestion Barbados needs to do a specific census to identify people living with disabilities. It's coming from Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs Kirk Humphrey. He was speaking at the official launch of an advisory committee to guide the establishment of a commission for improving the lives of persons with disabilities.
I want to know exactly who they are. What's the nature of the disability, the extent of it, where they live. And these things are important to in a climate change environment, because in the event that there's a harsh climate event, then how do we get to these persons and how do we move them? We've been doing, in the ministry, we have now some geospatial mapping that tells us where our most vulnerable houses are. We're working on it, it's developing, but we have to add to that every person who has a disability. And the road to the closest hurricane shelter in the event that that's the particular issue. I just feel like we have to be able to do more. And who's working and who's not working and where the jobs are. And I make a plea again to persons in the private sector, of course in the government as well, to hire persons who are capable of doing all kinds of jobs but are denied jobs on the basis of our own discrimination and nothing to do with the disability. And it is one of the things to me that continues to break my heart. I feel in the Ministry of People's Empowerment that we must be at the vanguard of this employment movement and to hire more persons who have disabilities if we're true to what it is that we're saying. And so as we go forward in hiring out for the Department of Family Services, that must be one of the things that we do.
Meanwhile, Chairman Edmund Hinkson has been speaking about some of the committee's goals.
Minister, we will, as I said, have a report on your desk, God willing, by the end of November with updated policy and proposed legislation. Of course, we would involve the stakeholders, and we would meet advisory committee very soon to map out the path and the process that we would take in terms of discussing with all of the stakeholders involved, whether it's the various ministries, ministerial departments, whether it's the representatives of the business and employers, whether it is the trade unions, and obviously the other stakeholders in the disabilities cause, such as the Council for the Disabled.
Members of the Upper House had their blood pressure checked yesterday. President of the Senate, Reginald Farley, said he was pleased with the responses from the members as well as the results. A news team was in the chamber and Trevor Thorpe reports.
Leading by example. That's how President of the Senate, Reginald Farley, summed up a blood pressure testing exercise of members of the Senate today. Under the watchful eye of the Heart and Stroke Foundation, the President said, in today's high-stressed world, it is good to make your health a priority.
We from Parliament, by taking this test, are saying to those folks who follow us in the news or whatever, go take your test, know what's going on with you. Be it good news, celebrate. If it's bad news, you can do something about it early, but never be taken by surprise at a point where you can't do anything about numbers that may not be quite what you would like them to be. So I want to say thank you, Doctor and members of the Heart and Stroke Foundation, for the excellent work you're doing, and to the Barbadian public, go and know what is going on with your body. Take your health into your own hands.
His Senate colleague and Minister of Tourism and International Transport, Lisa Cummins, said the demands of today and lifestyles makes today's blood pressure testing exercise a very important one.
We do have long hours. We don't take a lot of time off, if any time off at all. And so sometimes we may need to take better care of ourselves. But, with a country that's facing the kinds of issues that ours has been facing, and countries around the world, you tend to, once you step into this space, you kind of want to focus on making sure that you can do the best that you can to benefit the people that you're there to serve. And so sometimes you forget yourself.
Director of the Heart and Stroke Foundation, Dr. Janelle Bino, said personal health is important and called for lifestyle modifications.
We look at, diet modification, we look at physical activity, as well as stress management. So, right now we're in a very stressful situation right now. So yes, we're not comfortable. We want to say we really want to have persons to look at lifestyle modification and really looking at healthy lifestyles.
From the senators, the blood pressure testing exercise will move to the members of Parliament when the House of Assembly returns from recess later this month. Trevor Thorpe, CBC News.
Next on the CBC Morning Report, COVID-19 updates. Barbados has recorded 192 new COVID-19 positive cases. This is according to the Best Los Santos Public Health Laboratory after conducting 767 tests on May the 31st. These cases involved 84 males and 108 females. Of this number, there were 50 people under the age of 18 and 142 individuals 18 years and older. There are now 43 people in isolation facilities and 1,605 in home isolation. No deaths were reported yesterday. However, reports from the coroner's office showed there were 11 COVID-19 related deaths which occurred in the community over the past 3 weeks. The total number of COVID-related deaths is now 461. Under the national vaccination program for the virus, the total number of fully vaccinated people is 152,825. Despite reporting COVID-19 cases and deaths are trending downwards worldwide, Director General of the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, says they are seeing concerning warning countries the pandemic is not yet over.
Many countries have reduced the number of tests they do, which in turn reduce the numbers of cases they find. And we do see concerning trends in several regions. Reported cases and deaths are increasing in the Americas, while deaths are also increasing in the Western Pacific region and in Africa. Once again, the pandemic is not over. We continue to call on all countries to maintain testing and sequencing services to give us a clearer picture of where the virus is spreading and how it's changing. And we call on all countries to vaccinate all health workers, older people, and other at-risk groups.
A 2-month COVID-19 lockdown in Shanghai has finally ended. Most of Shanghai's 25 million residents are now free to leave home, while businesses will gradually and gladly resume operations. But people are still wary that a new outbreak would see the return of measures that left many struggling to get food or find emergency health care.
Millions of people in Shanghai counted down to midnight on Wednesday, celebrating the end of a strict 2-month pandemic lockdown. There were scenes of joy and excitement as people socialized outdoors and drove their cars for the first time in weeks. Street barricades have been removed. Supermarkets, restaurants and parks are reopening. Public transport has resumed. China's biggest city and commercial center is slowly coming back to life after being shut down at the end of March. More than 600,000 coronavirus infections were recorded in what was the country's worst outbreak since the pandemic began. Artist Sun Shun was visiting the city and became stuck in his hotel. An initial 5-day lockdown stretched to more than 60 days. He's relieved it's over, but remains distrustful of the government.
Government order So they tell people only 5 days. So I think fine. But you know, the government always lie to people. More and more and more, longer and longer and longer, and no ending. No people when it's finished.
There was widespread anger, along with confusion over food shortages and a lack of access to emergency medical care. The lockdown also crippled supply chains and slowed the economy. Property and car sales, the service sector and retail consumption all plummeted in April. Analysts say recovery won't be quick or easy.
After the initial phase, there might be more disappointment because the reality is the consumer confidence is dampened. Our property market is still weak. All those weaknesses in other parts of the economy were still there and not addressed. And on top of that, income growth has slowed significantly. So after the lift of all the restrictions, I think there is a lot of work has to be done.
Shanghai authorities say the city has achieved a milestone in its battle against the virus. In a letter, they thanked residents for their patience and apologized for the inconveniences caused.
People in Shanghai may be celebrating for now, but the memory of this long lockdown won't easily be forgotten. China's leaders refuse to live with the coronavirus, and any new outbreak can result in the lives of millions being upended without notice.
Germany has begun offering a $10 monthly ticket for unlimited travel across the country. It's part of an initiative to combat inflation and the high cost of fuel by making public transport more affordable. Politicians hope the scheme will have a big impact, but not everyone agrees it is enough.
Whether by tram, train or bus, over the next 3 months, journeys with these are much cheaper. For $10 or €9 a month, passengers can now get unlimited local and regional travel around the country.
We have prepared Deutsche Bahn as good as possible. For example, with additional trains, 250 trains every day in our networks in Germany, and we have additional staff on the trains and also in the railway station. So we try the best to be prepared.
At a time when inflation is higher than it has been for a long time, ministers hope this policy will ease some of the financial pain caused by rising prices.
This is what the passenger gets for their €9, a ticket to ride anywhere in this country, which can be bought in the paper version or on a smartphone. Armed with one of these, theoretically I can take most of the trains, trams or buses that stop at this station. But most people who use this are likely to be commuters.
So what do they make of it?
I just bought it. It's great because I used to pay 86 and now it's 9, and I have to go to work every day, so it was a big expense.
I use public transport a lot in different cities, Munich, Cologne, Berlin, so it's very convenient.
By making public transport much more affordable, if only for 3 months, this is a green policy, so the theory goes. But some people say it doesn't go far enough.
We need to invest a lot more, especially in our rail systems, and that's not something that you can do overnight. It's also not something that is done in 3 months. So we need more trains, we need longer trains, we need to build more train tracks, we need more buses. These are all things that take time.
The cheaper season ticket has been introduced to coincide with a cut in fuel costs for motorists. The price of petrol at the pump has risen sharply since the war in Ukraine. At first glance on Wednesday, prices do seem now to be dropping. So, taken together, the politicians in charge believe what they're introducing will make a difference.
It's time now to preview what's coming up on Morning Barbados, and we're joined by Pearson Boeing. Good morning to you, Pearson.
You dared not, right? Good morning to you, Wendy. I was going to call you Transita. Isn't that a lovely name? So call me something now.
I'm resisting, Pearson.
She remains mute. Nevertheless, yes, silence the devil. Thank you so much, Wendy, indeed. Good morning, everyone. Coming up at 6:30 this morning. How ready are we? We, after all, into day 2 of the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season. How ready are we? How ready are our agencies to respond? We will talk to the Department of Emergency Management about those questions and a whole lot more straight ahead. Also, are you living to your fullest potential? What else can you realize? Well, there's an organization that can assist you realize your dream, making it against the odds. And there's also an organization that says the overpopulation of dogs and cats in Barbados is at a crisis level. Is that so? And then what do we do about it? We'll get to hear those and a whole lot more straight ahead at 6:30 when you join me for Morning Barbados. Transita, back to you.
Yes, it's back to you, Thibet. Pierce and I will see you at 6:30. We'll have more in just a bit on CBC's Morning Report. In news just coming to hand, police are currently carrying out investigations into the origin of a structural fire which occurred today at about 5 a.m. in the building known as Sanjay's Minimart, situated at Belmont Road, St. Michael. The building has been extensively damaged and 3 fire tenders and 12 fire officers under the command of Station Officers Small and Perch attended the scene. Traffic is currently reduced to 1 lane, so the traveling public is advised to avoid the area at this time. Police are carrying out investigations as well as regulating traffic in the area. A new committee has been created to look at how caves across Barbados can be developed and used in enhancing the Barbados tourism product. That's according to Tourism Minister Senator Lisa Cummins. She says the committee comprises all the relevant stakeholders and is expected to report on its findings in coming months.
We did create a steering committee to guide the work of the consultancy, and that steering committee will be comprised of the Caves of Barbados Limited, Steve Devonish in particular, and as one of the representatives on that, the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., that obviously has responsibility for marketing, Barbados Tourism Investment Inc., and Barbados Invest Barbados, because obviously we are speaking about the possibility of treating to it as a new investment opportunity and then anchoring that in the community. And so in a few months, we should be in a position to say what the forward movement is going to be on this new initiative.
Property owners are being reminded to insure the contents of their homes this hurricane season. CEO of Corporators General Insurance Company Limited, Anton Lovell, says while policyholders often focus on insuring their houses, homeowners and tenants should explore the benefits of insuring their valuable contents. He believes this is especially important as tropical cyclones increase in strength and intensity.
And when the roof goes or windows are blown open, the contents that are damaged, and persons, as I said, neglected to insure the contents, obviously suffered losses as a result because they had no insurance to cover the contents. And a reminder for tenants: some people figure that if I don't own the home, I cannot insure the contents. But persons that have possessions that own anything, they can insure because they have an insurable interest in the items.
Speaking during the Cooperative's General Insurance Hurricane launch, Human Resources and Marketing Manager Cheryl Ford invited policyholders to enter their latest promotion for a chance to win grocery hampers from Chanel Supermarket and a staycation for two with Infinity on the Beach Hotel.
Here our theme is relax, we've got you covered. So we know that's why we went with the staycation aspect. Your persons that are burnt out, mental health, stress, whatever, we're giving you the chance to relax for these 3 days with the staycation component of Infinity on the Beach. We're supplying groceries with you for every month. So as long as you're a policyholder with cooperators, we're in the north of the island, we're in 6 Roads as well. Get your entry forms even here at head office, fill out your form, complete it, drop it in the box, and each month we'll be making a draw for the hamper of food supplies.
The head of the Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness says his shelter stands ready to assist both the general public and the homeless in the event of adverse weather. President Kimar Safri says the organization's headquarters in the city can facilitate up to 90 people at any given time.
We already started to talk with the clients. We are going to give them some information so that they could have on them in terms of the times that they could come into the shelter. And normally, once the advice is given by the Met Office, we would open the shelter so that they can come in way before and wait out whatever is approaching. And we then turn the shelter sometimes into a 24-hour shelter so that the homeless know that they're safe way in advance.
Building a culture of restoration and conservation will be the focus in the month of June as Barbados celebrates Heritage Month. While speaking during the launch of Heritage Month, Minister with Responsibility for Culture in the Prime Minister's office, Senator Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, outlined a number of projects being undertaken by government to preserve Barbados's cultural heritage. She says these projects are in keeping with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 11 that seeks to make cities and human development sustainable, livable, and inclusive.
The renovation of Golden Square is but one part of the plans to transform and revitalize historic Bridgetown. I'm pleased to inform that the government has been undertaking a number of rehabilitation projects that are already transforming the cityscape and improving the livability of the city. These are the Fairchild Street Market Phase 3 of the Carenage Development Project and the redevelopment of Queen's Park. One of the government's mission-critical goals is to mitigate the effects of disasters due to climate change. This too is being applied to historic Bridgetown and its garrison, which lies below sea level and is susceptible to sea level rise and flooding.
The launch was held at the historic Need Israel Synagogue and Museum in historic Bridgetown, and attendees were given a tour of the historic synagogue, which is one of the oldest in the Western Hemisphere. While referring to the building as an excellent example of restoration, Dr. Monroe-Knight announced government's intention to present an annual award for restoration. She says the award is in keeping with government's thrust towards building the restorative culture.
Our focus in the coming year is to work with our stakeholders to revitalize various historic sites across Barbados, including historic Bridgetown and its garrison, and to better engage with our heritage stakeholders to build a vibrant sector that can contribute to national development. We will pay special attention to engaging youth to ensure that they see heritage as a viable career. This will entail working closely with the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training with the new history curriculum. At the community level, our efforts will be enhanced to develop the Barbados National Register of Historic Places with the assistance of members of the community.
The Norwegian Refugee Council says the world is paying too little attention to mass displacements of people across Africa across Africa. For the first time, 10 of the most neglected crises are in the continent. The Democratic Republic of the Congo tops the list for the third time in 5 years.
In Congolese forced from their homes, a third of the population going hungry, and all after decades of conflict. But the Democratic Republic of Congo is top of the most neglected crises worldwide, according to the Norwegian Refugee Council. The aid organization lists 10 countries, all of them in Africa, which have displacement crises that don't get enough media attention. The countries include Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Chad, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and Mali. South Sudan is number 4 on the list. The world's youngest country faced conflict just 2 years after independence in 2011. A third of its 12 million people were forced from their homes. Fighting largely ended when a peace deal was signed in 2018. Since then, floods have displaced nearly 1 million more.
Our camp was established 2 years ago and we came from the north. But here we have humanitarian issues. There is no food, no access to farming and no education.
Sudan is also on the list. More than 2 million have been displaced in the western region of Darfur since fighting there started in 2003. Hundreds of thousands remain in camps despite a peace deal signed 2 years ago. In May, fighting in West Darfur forced around 35,000 families from their homes.
We were attacked and forced to leave our homes with nothing. Now we have nothing to eat and are staying out in the open, under the sun.
The Norwegian Refugee Council says the lack of media attention to the crises has contributed to less humanitarian and political response.
When the DRC is getting so little attention in the global media, it also leads to less aid money going there compared to Ukraine and other crises that are in the limelight constantly, but also to reduced political diplomatic attention and initiatives to solve the deep crisis in the Congo. So we're in a desperate situation as humanitarians on the ground. We're not getting the attention, neither the funding nor help to solve the crisis.
And as the world's attention remains elsewhere, most of the funding appeals to respond to the crises in the countries on the list remain low.
A time now for some look at sports. 3 wickets apiece for Austin Chase and Ramon Simmons helped Barbados Pride to dismiss Windward Islands just after tea on day 1 of their 5th round match in the CWI Championship. Playing at the Diego Martin Complex, where Devon Smith announced his retirement from regional cricket after 22 years, the Volcanoes were bowled out for 203 in 62 overs after winning the toss and batting. Teddy Bishop top scored with 44, while Simmons was impressive, taking 3 for 27, Chase 3 for 44, and Miguel Cummins 2 for 32. Here's how the wickets fell.
Normal, Milon. Bowling. He's bowling. That's a good catch, is it?
There's an appeal given.
Oh my, he's
chopped on.
Ramon Simmons. Oh, and again down the leg side. An appeal for court. He's given him. Here is Miguel Cummins. Short, it's in the air, and he's out. Here at the Diego Martin Sporting Complex, loud shout for appeal, and the finger goes up. And that's the end of Ryan John. Bowl him. Through the gate, it appears.
Yep, the shoulders. So you play with it. That's a very good shout for leg before, and the verdict has been given for 3-13.
Bowl him. Bowl him.
In reply, Barbados reached 109 for 1 at stumps, trailing by 96 runs. Raymond Reefer is unbeaten on 56, and Captain Craig Brathwaite not out on 39. Over at Queen's Park Oval, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force are 203 for 9 against the Guyana Harpy Eagles. And at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, Jamaica Scorpions 302 all out in their encounter with the Leeward Islands Hurricanes. Time now to see what the weather picture looks like today. As you know, we've started the hurricane season. It is presently 27 degrees Celsius and it's partly cloudy. However, it's starting to feel like 31 degrees Celsius. The humidity stands at 80% and the barometric pressure 1012 millibars. The winds are from the east at 24 kilometers per hour. The tide's low tide will be at 11:44 a.m. and the second low tide at 11:14 p.m. High tide will be at 6:22 p.m. The sea is smooth to moderate in open water with swells ranging from 1 to 1.5 meters and increasing. The outlook today for Barbados, mostly cloudy with the occasional scattered light to moderate showers. Tonight is expected to be mostly cloudy with the intermittent scattered light to moderate shower. Here's now a look at our international cities. That's it for today's morning report. Our next newscast will be Newsday, which will begin at noon, followed by The World at 1 via our radio network. It's now time to join Pearson Bowen with Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning, Barbados, good morning. Good morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you wherever you are. It is Thursday, the 2nd of June, 2022. I'm Pearson Bowen, welcoming you here, there, and literally everywhere. Thank you so much for joining our Facebook streams as well. Good to have you company. Early o'clock, let me let you know, we've been informed by the Barbados Light and Power that they will be conducting some emergency maintenance work in our area, which could result in a power outage. We're not sure how it will impact our ability to stay on the air with you, but we do apologize for that. We do know that our radio stations will stay up, but if we do go off, we do apologize to you for that, owing to the fact that the Barbados Light and Power will be conducting emergency maintenance work in this area. So, what else can we expect today on Morning Barbados? It's the afterwork lines right here at the CBC. Starting today, the 98.1, the one afterwork lines. We're encouraging all of you to come on down, but let me not tell you about it. Our marketing specialists will join us to talk a little bit more about what you can expect this afternoon, starting at 5 in the new series of afterwork lines, all part of our Home of the Festivals activity for Crop Over. Also today, the parish where one family lives, that's St. Philip. They'll join us to talk a little bit about what we can expect as they launch their project for the year with their ambassadorship program. And we'll also be taking a look back, if you missed it, at some of the sights and sounds and the beauty of Agro Fest this year. But as you know, today being Thursday, the 2nd of June, the second day of the official launch of the Atlantic hurricane season, how ready truly are we? We're joined now by the Director of the Department of Emergency Management, Carrie Hines, as we take a look at our state of readiness. Good morning to you, Ms. Hines.
Good morning, Pearson. Good morning, Barbados.
Good to have you. I know the words, it's going to be an above active and very active season. It doesn't bring you any joy at all. But how ready are we really for this hurricane season?
It's a part of the job. So we started ramped up our preparedness actions for the hurricane season around March or so. We were aiming to be ready by May 1st, ahead of the start of the season. We looked at our facilities preparedness because, as you know, at the Department of Emergency Management, or the National Emergency Operations Center, and that is the crisis coordination center for any national emergency that has to be up and running. And we ensured that that facility is prepared. A number of the stakeholders are usually there during the crisis, including the media and the emergency services. We also looked at our equipment stocks and ensure that our personnel and our first responders, and this is not just DEM, but across the emergency services, that we are ready to respond at a moment's notice. And of course, the usual updating of our plans, our procedures, and testing of those, looking at the various scenarios that may happen and ensuring that we are in a state of readiness. So it is, so it really is all-out effort to ensure that we can respond to the public when necessary.
Right. So you say you've been doing this since March, pulling together all of the emergency systems to ensure that all is well. So is all well? Are we ready? Yes or no?
I would say as ready as we can be. There is always room for improvement, and any occurrence shows you that.
Right. Now,
sometimes you think you're ready, but then you
something
really
happens.
Double down, yes.
For a lot of the average people, it is the readiness of shelters. You know, shelters are also going to be critical if one has to evacuate one's home to go somewhere to rent it out safely. What can you tell us about the state of readiness of shelters, and how soon can we expect to know where those shelters are?
Well, the shelters have been published, so you can go to our website, www.bem.gov.bb, and you'll see the list of the Category 1 shelters. There are 30 such this year, and we also have Category 2 shelters as well. So we have those because we would have carried out the shelter audits, and we would have identified the shelters where persons can go in before an event, and those are the Category 1s. So those are numbering 30. Of course, we have the protocols and we have our shelter regulations in place, and because of the COVID-19 as well, we would have updated those protocols to reflect that since about 2 years now.
So shelters are ready. Part of your mandate is not just to be able to alert us as to where those shelters are, but in the event that something untoward's happen, restoration. And in terms of pulling this all together, coordinating, give us a sense of the organizations who have been meeting with you and working out the plans so that we can be comfortable in knowing that should anything happen, the agencies will stand up and step in.
Well, this is a multi-stakeholder approach to planning. We have government agencies, we have the Barbados Police Service, we have the Fire Service, the Barbados Defense Force, we have the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Health, Education, and there are many Ministry of Social Empowerment. So there are many ministries and agencies of government that come together. As well, we have the private sector. We have the Barbados Light and Power, our Flow and Digicel, our various entities, our Barbados National Oil Terminals. There are so many persons. Then we have the non-governmental organizations like the Barbados Red Cross, who we work very closely with, and we have the district emergency organizations. We have so many people, Barbados Water Authority. We have so many persons, so many agencies that come together. And of course, on the regional front, we do our planning as one of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDIMA participating states. And we plan as well at the sub-regional and regional level. And we also have international players as well who participate in those planning efforts.
From your experience, what do you think it is that we as a general population need to do better so that we are ready, and in the event of something happening that we are able to help ourselves recover? What do you think we should be focusing on at this time?
We should be focusing on early preparation, ensuring that your family is ready, having your emergency plans, having your stocks of emergency food supplies, ensuring that around your property, trimming the trees, ensuring that the gutters are cleared, just ensuring that your roofs are well. You need to have your insurance. There are so many things, and then you need to support the persons within the community. There are persons that may be less fortunate than yourself, and you can give them a helping hand, even if that is having them sheltered by you. Because I know sometimes persons don't would not necessarily prefer to go into the public shelters, but just ensuring that persons are ready, they have what they need to really rally out the storm.
Can you do it all, though? I mean, there are times when something happens and everybody thinks, call the DEM, call them, let them solve the problem. You can't do it all. So what are some of the things that you think we can do, apart from just storing our foods, if something should happen, that we can help ourselves? We don't have to necessarily turn to your agency for every single assistance.
As part of our public awareness program, we preach the early preparation, but we also tell you need to know your risk. And then you need to put certain coping strategies in place to deal with those risks. If you know you live in a low-lying area that is prone to flooding, then you know that you have to have some plan in place to probably shelter somewhere else, which is not prone to the flooding. It is very important that you know what it is that you're vulnerable to and you try to treat to it. You are your own first responder. You need to be prepared. We can't re-emphasize that enough. Remember, we have an entire country that we are supporting. So sometimes it is a case where we may not get to you in time. Hence the reason as well, we have our community preparedness program in terms of having the DOs within the district emergency organization and the community volunteers within the various communities to support persons as well. But I think persons need to understand that emergency management and disaster preparedness is everybody's business. You need to put your plans in place, and when you look and you put your plans in place, you know what additional resources that you may need, and then you go and seek out that assistance from persons within the community. And of course, we are there as an agency and as national stakeholders to support and augment resources as we possibly can, as much as we possibly can.
The statement I heard, you are your own first responder, and I so agree with that. We must help ourselves first as best we possibly can, and then we reach beyond if we have to. For those who are watching today who are a part of our community of people who are disabled, what plans and what assurances can you give to them?
Well, we have many vulnerable groups in society, and what we do, we don't plan for you, we plan with you. And they are what you've seen in terms of our messaging and putting out certain preparedness tips there. We include the disabled community, and we have what we do, we encourage them as well to have their particular plans in place. There are various national level agencies that support that disaster planning. We have the Barbados Council for the Disabled, and we work closely with them as well to support in terms of any sensitization or any preparedness planning that persons would need to effect, that particular segment of the community may need to effect.
There's a lot we can talk about this morning, Carrie Hines. Honestly, it's a long season, so I'm sure we'll be contacting you as time goes on. But the critical thing here is let's start planning now. Let's do it now. Let's not look up to the sky and think, well, it's sunny, there's nothing to worry about. Trim the trees, get your plan together, start to put your stocks together as well, and prepare in the event that something happens. But be your best first responder. But to do so, get your plan together. Indeed, and if you need more information, go to the website dem.gov.bb, get to know where the shelters are, and so you plan accordingly. Thank you so much, Carrie Hines, Director of the Department of Emergency Management, and we'll be contacting you some more during the season. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you so very much, and everyone enjoy your day today.
Thank you so much indeed. Carrie Hines, the Director of the Department of Emergency Management. Remember, plan. Get it together. We're going to take the break and we're coming right back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you.
We have 15 minutes now to go to 7. Just to remind you, at any moment we expect that emergency work by the Barbados Light and Power should begin, and it would result in a power outage in the area. We already apologize if we should go off the air for that, but we encourage you to stay with us and stay with our radio stations as well. Now, are you living not feeling completely fulfilled? Do you feel as though the odds are almost stacked against you and you just can't push forward and push past? Well, there's an organization that can help you. They're called Making It Against the Odds. And we're happy to be joined this morning by one of the founders of this organization, Tamika Newton. Good morning to you, Tamika. Tamika, good morning. There you are.
Good morning.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell me about the charity Making It Against the Odds, the foundation. Why have you formed this foundation and what is it formed to do?
Okay, well, the Made It Against the Odds Foundation was formed back in 2014 after I won the Miss Single and Progressive pageant. I wanted to start something to help other people make it against the odds because I felt like I made it against the odds. After leaving school without any certificates and stuff, I managed to do better. And I wanted to highlight all areas that we have, whether it be academics, culture, entertainment, and it was for basically children and adults, whether they are challenged or they are not. So that's what I did in 2014.
To push past what the narrative is, and so to be able to take that narrative and reshape it in your own image, so to speak, and not be yourself be defined by it. But it takes a lot of mental strength. You know, sometimes you can find yourself in that rut and you surrender to it. And you're saying, no, your foundation helps one, pulls oneself up. How do you do that?
Well, we normally donate trophies. We have been donating trophies from 2014, where we highlight the children at the graduation who would have sat the 11 plus. We look at the children that we would consider below average that still managed to pass the exam. We give them some trophies and encouragement. We also assist in school clothes, back to school stuff, hampers, name it. As long as we can help you get that another step, we try our best. It don't be easy without any sponsorship. We still try to press on. We would have donated trophies to some entertainers in Barbados through the Barbados Music Awards for a number of years. We also do BSAT. We did some trophies in BSAT for a couple of years, and we have now entered into the NAPSAT family to donate trophies in honor of Jamaria Ma. For BSAT, we do it in honor of Letitia Jilts. She was a national athlete. We also like to encourage other children as well in the athletic arena to fight to make it against the odds no matter what. It don't be easy, but it's my passion, and I will continue to fight to help others make it against the odds, because when they make it against the odds, I continue to make it against the odds as well.
The beauty is to be able to teach the man to fish. He can sit and receive his fish, but you want him to learn how to fish so that he's able to swim against the tide and swim with the tide where necessary as well. So what programs do you have in place, and how can people be a part of the foundation to benefit richly from the offerings of the Make It Against the Odds Foundation?
Okay, so we're in the process of creating the programs for persons with, through the charity. We'll be doing CXC, so we'll be offering math, English, social studies, human and social biology. We're going to also be doing some skill building, probably in sewing and cake icing. That's as far as we got so far. We have also launched a reading program, a free reading program that caters to children between the ages of 4 to 11. Since we launched it, we had about 80 children online. We had one student from Trinidad and Tobago, and we were asked now to carry the age a bit further to accommodate those children that are 16 to 21 that are having challenges in reading. And we are now in the process along with the KIFA, Katrina Endometriosis Fund Association, we are in the process of launching our Rejuvenate elderly care program, which is a program that helps, rejuvenate the elderly through manicures, pedicures, hair braiding, and barbering services. So we have a lot of programs coming up. So you can follow the Made Against the Odds Foundation's page or Key for Barbados for more information on those projects. And any person that interested in volunteering in the reading program, with it, maybe it might be to help with math or English or one of the subjects, or probably any skill that you think that these persons can benefit from. Y'all can follow us on the page on Facebook or Instagram, or you can contact me at 825-1012, and I could answer any questions that you would be willing to know.
Right, we are on the Facebook page at the moment. For those of you watching, take a look quickly. This is what it looks like. And so this is where you will go, and this is what you will experience, of course. And you can make contact with Tamika Newton and the charity Made It Against the Odds, and you can really be a part of it as well. Now, we just saw one of the ambassadors scroll up on our screen, and so you work with them too, helping them to push through to become winners. And here it is, your youth ambassador, Kendria is her name, I believe?
Yes, please. Please. I work with a personal and professional pageant called Miss Lux Gem. I am the personal and professional director for that pageant. And as a way of helping these young ladies to make it against the odds, I decided to create a trophy, award to give back there. So the benefits of it is to become the ambassador for the charity. So she's the first youth ambassador, because we want to create that youth arm. I'm getting old, so I need to have some young people to carry on the legacy. And she is the youth ambassador, Kendria, and she is a farmer. She's a farmer, and she is also a hairstylist. So I want young people to see that farming is not just for, especially women, it's not just for men. You can follow the page more. We can do some videos with her soon, with her taking out the pigs and stuff like that. We also we're looking now to have a male youth ambassador. So when we start our anti-bullying campaign, that we have a balance. We don't want to have it like there's just women all the time. We want to have a balance, and we want to start it from the youth. We need to start from somewhere.
This is great work. It's oftentimes, when you look into the mirror, what you see helps us set the tone for what you will be. And you're saying with the Made It Through Against All Odds Foundation, that you're saying, come on, let's show you the best of you. Let's show you the beauty of you. Let's show you the future of you. And then you grab hold of it and you provide them with opportunities to be able to realize what they see as well. So I was going to ask you, how do people find you, or how do you find those people? And it's generally done through social media, or do you work with other organizations who recommend people to you?
I work with a couple organizations where I normally share my story on Instagram or Facebook of abuse, whatever I have been through, to show that I would have made it against the odds. I share my story, and because of that, other organizations, whether it be a church organization or other charity that may work with at-risk students, they reach out to me, and I find a way to get there to help them. We can't help everybody, but my goal is to help at least one person with the hope that they can move on to help another person. Our stories are powerful, and I am also a domestic violence advocate for men, women, and children. So I do a lot, and my goal is to help, to give back. To give back. That is my goal, and I will continue to do it. So anyone listening, if you're having any challenges, y'all can reach out. If you need me to speak anywhere, I'm open, I'm ready.
You said when we began that you were one of those people who left school without any certification. But here it is today, you are becoming quite a powerful person, making a tremendous difference to our community. What is it that you saw in you that says, I am not going to be defined by what people think about me. I'm not going to be defined simply by certification. I can do this. I will make this happen. And who encouraged you to press on?
As we grow up, we as young people, you don't like to, you hear, but you're listening. And throughout my life, I would have made some bad choices. And I played the fool at school. Basically, I went to school at Springer Memorial, and I didn't really pay the teachers any attention, which caused me to leave school with no CXCs. But I found as I, went through my teenage up to about 20, in order for me to get a job, I had to list the CXCs that I had. I never had a CXC. All I had was LCC typing at distinctions, intermediate and advanced. I would have then made a conscious decision that I want to do better. Even though people said it would not amount to nothing, I wanted to do better, and I believed that I could do better. I didn't think that my mother wasted her time and tried to mold me into this wonderful young lady to be disappointed. So I wanted to do better, not just for myself, but for my family as well. And I would have entered the pageant, Miss Singular Progressive, and in that pageant, it taught us to go after your goals. And one of my goals was to get into University of the West Indies. Many said no, it wouldn't be possible. And because of that, before that, I would have done a couple of CXCs on the way. So I would have then able to achieve these certificates that helped me to get into UWI to complete my bachelor's in early childhood development and family studies. It so happened that I was successful. It was all over the moon. I could not believe that this girl that everybody believed could not even pass the gates of Cave Hill was actually now a student. I managed to complete my degree and I passed with first class honors. And when I graduated, I was the only person that graduated that year from Barbados with a degree with first class honors in early childhood education. I would have moved on then to, I was working at Water Authority at that time. I'm now a primary school teacher. I have the little angels of reception. So I am helping them to make it against the odds, don't matter what. So I am now walking in my purpose, and that's a bit about me and the reason why I am pushing this, making it against the odds.
Your face lit up, Tamika, just telling your story. Mine lit up too. My big jaws are stuck because it's such an inspiring story. And I think that's what Made It Against the Odds Foundation seeks to do, to show the way, to show the possibilities, to say, no one determines who you are other than you. And because God created you to be exceptional, you can be exceptional. You can push past and realize your purpose as well. And so for all watching today, how can we contact you?
Okay, you can follow me or message me on Facebook through the charities page. Some persons might just follow me on my Facebook page, which is under Embassy Summers, or they can contact me at 825-1012 or send us an email at madeitagainsttheodds@gmail.com.
Right, Made It Against the Odds, one big long word, at gmail.com. But you know me, old fashioned, call to 825-1012. 825-1012. Her name is Tamika Newton. She has made it against the odds, and so she wants to be able to find a way to help you make it against the odd as well. And so when you feel stuck and pushed, your back against the wall, no, we can find a way out. Don't surrender to that. Don't give in to it. Let Tamika Newton and her foundation help you. And if you also want to make donations to the foundation as well, the same process, madeitagainsttheodds@gmail.com. You can find them on Facebook at Made It Against the Odds Foundation, or you can call Tamika on 825-1012. Every effort results in something spectacular and fantastic because people are making it against the odds, in spite of the odds. Thank you so much, Tamika Newton. Much success with your endeavors going forward, and thank you for inspiring us this morning.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome indeed. Indeed. What an inspiration to have met Tamika this morning. And for those of you seeking still to find yourself in that process, don't forget 825-1012. 825-1012. Look for Made It Against the Odd Foundation on social media and be a part of it. It's a charitable organization. Lend your support to it as well in whatever ways you can, but make contact and make it happen. We'll take a break right here, and we're coming back with even more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And it's time now for a news update this morning. Police are currently carrying out investigations into the origin of a fire along Belmont Road. It occurred at around 5 a.m. this morning. The Sanjay's Mini Mart, which is located on Belmont Road, was extensively damaged. The fire was attended by 3 tenders and 12 fire officers under the command of Station Officers Small and Perch. There's a suggestion that Barbados needs to do a specific census to identify people living with disabilities. It's coming from Minister of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs, Kirk Humphrey. He was speaking at the launch of an advisory committee to guide the establishment of a commission for improving the lives of persons with disabilities.
I want to know exactly who they are, what's the nature of the disability, the extent of it, where they live. And these things are important to in a climate change environment, because in the event that there's a harsh climate event, then, how do we get to these persons and how do we move them? We've been doing, in the ministry, we have now some geospatial mapping that tells us where our most vulnerable houses are. We're working on it, it's developing, but we have to add to that every person who has a disability. And the road to the closest hurricane shelter in the event that that's the particular issue. I just feel like we have to be able to do more. And who is working and who's not working and where the jobs are. And I make a plea again to persons in the private sector, of course in the government as well, to hire persons who are capable of doing all kinds of jobs but are denied.
Members of the upper house had their blood pressure checked yesterday. President of the Senate, Reginald Farley, said he was pleased with the response from the members as well as the results. A news team was in the chamber and Trevor Thorpe reports.
Leading by example. That's how President of the Senate, Reginald Farley, summed up a blood pressure testing exercise of members of the Senate today. Under the watchful eye of the Heart and Stroke Foundation, the President said, in today's high-stressed world, it is good to make your health a priority.
We from Parliament, by taking this test, are saying to those folks who follow us in the news or whatever, go take your test, know what's going on with you. Be it good news, celebrate. If it's bad news, you can do something about it early, but never be taken by surprise at a point where you can't do anything about numbers that may not be quite what you would like them to be. So I want to say thank you, Doctor and members of the Heart and Stroke Foundation, for the excellent work you're doing, and to the Barbadian public. Go and know what is going on with your body. Take your health into your own hands.
Barbados has recorded 192 COVID-19 positive cases. This is according to the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory after carrying out 767 tests on May the 31st. These cases involved 84 males and 108 females. Of this number, there were 50 under the age of 18 and 142 individuals 18 years and older. There are now 43 people in isolation facilities and some 1,605 in home isolation. No deaths were reported yesterday. However, reports from the coroner's office showed that there were 11 COVID-related deaths which occurred in the community over the past 3 weeks. That now brings the COVID-related deaths to 461. Under the national vaccination program for the virus, the total number of fully vaccinated people is 152,825. Property owners are being reminded to insure the contents of their homes this hurricane season. CEO of Corporators General Insurance Company Limited, Anton Lovell, says while policyholders often focus on insuring their houses, homeowners and tenants should explore the benefits of insuring their valuable contents. He believes it's especially important as tropical cyclones increase in strength and intensity.
And when the roof goes or windows are blown open, the contents that are damaged. And persons, as I said, neglected to insure the contents, obviously suffered losses as a result because they had no insurance to cover the contents. And a reminder for tenants, some people figure that if I don't own the home, I cannot insure the contents. But persons that have possessions that own anything, they can insure because they have an insurable interest in the items.
The head of the Barbados Alliance to End Homelessness says his shelter stands ready to assist both the general public and the homeless in the event of adverse weather. President Kimar Safri says the organization's headquarters in the city can facilitate up to 90 people at any given time.
We already started to talk with the clients. We are going to give them some information so that they could have on them in terms of the times that they could come into the shelter. And normally, once the advice is given by the Met Office, we would open the shelter so that they can come in way before and wait out whatever is approaching. And we then turn the shelter sometimes into a 24-hour shelter so that the homeless know that they're safe way in advance.
And that's news. We'll take a break, and when you come back, you'll get more of Pearson Booing and Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
It's 9 minutes after 7 o'clock now. So what are you doing this afternoon? What are you doing from 5 o'clock today? Where shall you be? I'll tell you about it right now. Joining me to sharing the big news is Alicia Hinkson, who is our marketing officer with here at the CBC. Alicia, good morning.
Good morning, Pearson. How are you?
I'm well. Where would you be at 5 o'clock today?
In the CBC car park at the CBC Soca Lime.
It is going to be fun. I am so excited about this. But let's talk about it because we are the home of the festivals. I don't want to tell the story.
Correct.
Tell us the story.
Yeah, CBC is the home of the festival. We've waited 2 years to be back outside. Over the last 2 years, CBC's made sure that we've brought you things like Stand Home Party to entertain you along that line. Now that we're back outside and we have that permission, obviously all COVID-19 protocols being followed, we are going to be in the CBC car park for our series of after work soca limes. 100% soca. You can look for the best DJs from 98.1 The One. Of course, you will have guest DJs as well. And you know what we do best, Person? We embrace the artists who are bringing their music for the season. So, of course, you will have some live performances by Mikey, you'll have Marsville, you'll have Walks, and you'll have Sugary as well.
Well, the flags are already up and fluttering. Early o'clock.
Yes,
So you know exactly where we are. And you know at the CBC, we have two car parks. There's the outer one and the inner one. We're in the outer car park. So as soon as you turn in, you're there. You've landed at the Soca Line this afternoon from 5. And we're here for about 6 hours, isn't it? 5 till about 11?
Yeah, we're till about 11. We're fueled by 98.1 The One and 94.7. So, of course, when you're leaving work, you can lock on to 94.7 from 5 until 6. You'll hear everything that's happening. You get to CBC, you have all the action there. And then if you can't make it out, you can tune into 98.1 The One and you'll hear us there as well anytime after 6. Of course, I have to thank my sponsors. We could not have done it without Banks, Beer, Flo, Mount Gay Rum, Remy Martin, Coca-Cola No Sugar, The Sunny Water, Echo Steam Detailing, Easy Pay, and the Barbados Lotteries. We have to say thank you to them. We're going to have a good time in the car park. You know, it is our season. 94.7 is 100% soca. So if you want to hear the latest, no matter what it is, soca, if soca is your thing, you can lock on to 94.7. They're carrying 100% soca. 98, we're soon going to get there, but we'll spend some more time just being the #1 party station. We are the #1 party station, so we're spending some time really giving you that vibe. And of course, 94.7 is the ultimate Bajan experience, and we're celebrating the season of soca.
Yeah. You know, what I've been saying to a lot of people on the air is, don't even go home for work and change. Come as you are in your uniform. It doesn't matter. And that's the whole beauty of the whole thing, you know, and bring your friends, bring your family, come on down. These live performances are perhaps going to be the first live performance for the season, and it's every reason for you to be here to witness it, isn't it?
Yes, and we also have great food. We're going to have bar cutters here. We're going to have Braided Hugs Barbecue. And of course, the bar is being managed by a professional. So all the drinks from our sponsors you can expect is really going to be a good, safe line in the CBC car park. So it doesn't matter. Whatever plans you had after work, just come on over to CBC. There'll be enough parking for you as well. You don't have to concern yourself with parking, and have a good time. Person, of course, I have to say, we are the stations of choice. We lead with crop over as CBC. And of course, if you're having your event and you want to advertise it, you can contact our sales team. Any member of the sales team, or 467-5559. We have packages for every single one. Whether your event is small, whether your event is big, if you want to have that crowd of your event, you need to be advertising with CBC and 98.1 The One.
Without a doubt. And this is only the start. This is only the start. Today, the 2nd of June, we're kicking it off, our 98.1 The One after work Soca Limes. But it's a season of Soca Limes. And so for the curious who are watching and listening this morning, they're thinking, okay, so when next and where next? What do we say to them?
We will be all around the island. We encourage you to lock on to the stations of choice. TV8, of course, festival ready. They will be bringing you the information. All the stations, 98, 94, and Q100.7 FM. We will all be telling you where our next Soca Lime is. We know, but you have to stay locked to find out. Make sure you stay locked to win a party pack for the season as well. There are many competitions and giveaways on our stations. We're soon going to be launching our festival quiz on TV and radio. So, you know, making sure that you're up to date with what has happened before. You know, we're going to bring you up to date on the season of Soca. This is our festival, our season. This is our station, CBC. So we're doing it for you.
So if you are a Socatologist, if you are a Socaholic, and you have been itching to get back outside, we outside. We are outside this afternoon from 5 and running right through till about 11 o'clock today, and we will be taking this across the island as well. So every reason for you to satisfy the itch by coming down here this afternoon from 5 and enjoy Lime. Have a really good time. Meet some people who you probably have not seen in a while, because opportunities were not given for you to get out, but now you can get out. So come out to CBC this afternoon from 5.
And it's absolutely free.
Yes.
So make sure I let everybody know it is free. It is a lime. It is just like the limes we had pre-COVID. It's just that we need to make sure we follow the protocols, stay 3 feet apart, you know, enjoy, wear a mask where necessary, and have a safe time. Make sure we sanitize. And then tomorrow morning, Pearson, if you left CBC at 11 because you had such a good time and you didn't get a chance to pick up breakfast, you can join the 98 team, meet Black Rose. He'll be out tomorrow morning at Hastings Burger King. So you can meet us there, grab lunch on the go, grab breakfast, on the go, and head off to work. We're outside.
We're outside. We're just doing this in our, after all, the home of the festivals. And when you think festivals, you have to think CBC. We've always been there. We continue to be there. And we'll continue to give our full support. So anyone watching who has a little something to spend or has an event planned, call us. Call us. 467-5559. See, easy to remember. Even I remembered it. 467-5559. And let's do some business with you. Let's help you make your event a success that I'm sure that you intend it to be. So do advertise with us across our platforms of stations, and we guarantee you a very active, ready market. Sockatologists we are, Sockaholics we truly are, and we're looking forward to being with you indeed right through the entire season. But let's start today, folks. Let's get outside today from 5. And Lisa, you're quite right. Let's be responsible in our partying as well. Don't assume that things are different. We're open, we're outside, but let's take care of ourselves responsibly. So maintain the protocols, sanitize yourself, keep your distance where necessary. But come, we have a blast, no? We are having an after work live. Work today can be so stressful for so many. So what's the best way to release? At the CBC after work live. It's going to be great. So I know you have a lot of work to do today because we're getting ready.
Yes,
and in getting ready, we want people to get ready with us. So Alicia, thank you. And we're looking forward to the success of the series indeed. Again, folks, Alicia is the one who you're going to interact with a lot when it comes to your advertising. Now you see the face, now you know the name, now you know the voice, now you know who it is. That's the one. She's happy to help. So do contact us. 467-5559 Levy Party. Thank you so much, Alicia.
Morning Barbados. See you this evening.
See you indeed very, very soon. And as Alicia said, Friday morning, which is tomorrow, Black Rose Supreme, as we take the breakfast party to Burger King, and we've been doing so now for the last few weeks. He'll be on location from 6 o'clock in the morning live. You get a chance to go out and say to him, morning, and he'll be happy to respond to you as well. So come on down to Hastings branch of Burger King tomorrow. There are a couple other branches we'll be going to over the week as well, over the weeks. And we're looking forward to supporting you and helping you and just having a good time with you. Breakfast at Burger King with Black Rose Supreme. Time for a break, and we're coming right back with more on Morning Barbados.
Sockaholics, Sockatologists, Soca lovers. Our season has started and we are getting festival ready with CBC and 98.1 to 1 After Work Soca Lives. From Thursday, June 2nd, we start the action at CBC Car Park with your favorite 98.1 DJs as they play the biggest Soca hits. So come on and enjoy the vibes, have a drink, and love your life at the home of all festivals. Stay tuned to all CBC stations and social media for more information about the After Work Soca Lives. 98.1 to 1, the official party station.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
21 minutes now after 7 o'clock. They say there are the parish where one family lives. Perhaps. We're talking about St. Philip, and so I want them to justify that to me now. We're joined this morning by Brian Parish, who is one of the committee members of the St. Philip Parish Independence Committee. Along with him are the ambassadors, Derek Anderson and Simone Williams. Good morning, three of you.
Good morning.
Good. Tell me now why St. Philip is the one parish where one family lives.
Pearson, I will let the ambassadors are going to give you a very well detailed response to that. So, good morning, Barbados, by the way. Good morning, Pearson. Now, we're the parish where one family lives because we have at least 38,000+ persons living in Barbados. And that, by extension, means that when you think of Beijing, you have to think of our Philippine culture, all right? Mm-hmm. And for this, we will be which will showcase to Barbados how to live like one family. And we could go on and on about this. I'll let my ambassadors Simone and Derek give their take on it.
Simone, let's start with you. Tell me why and how could it possibly be that one parish can live so well as one family? Well, we seem to be having a little bit, I can barely hear you. So let's see if we get that audio. If my director can help me here, please. Let's see if we get that audio sorted out. Let's hear from you, Derek, then. How is it that St. Philip could be one family?
Okay, good morning, Barbados, once again.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that St. Philip is one family because, one, we're close-knit, and even though we are big in the way, we always come up to support each other in all of our programs and projects, and that's just a foundation on it.
Now, this is a project that you guys have planned. You are the planners of this, a project called The Parish Where One Family Lives. And so I'm very curious as to how this project will come alive. So how do you intend to now move it from words to action? What plans do you have in place?
Okay, so Pearson, what we are looking to do, first of all, our objectives this year is to involve the community and develop the community and empower the youth and develop talent. So because of these objectives, we can all see that what we're looking to promote is exactly that cohesiveness and unity within the community. And that's why we themed it, the parish where one family lives. Now, we have an event coming up on June the 5th. And Pearson, do you ever play with?
If I ever played road tennis, I got lashes for playing road tennis as well. Of course.
Yeah, well, we got the newest road tennis court in Barbados set up at the JB complex at Emerald City.
Really?
And we want to go on June the 5th to see what we have promised to showcase how we are the parish where one family lives. Because when you think of road tennis, Pearson,
right. So listen.
You think about.
Because Brian, you're breaking up as well. I'm not so sure what's going on there with your area, but we'll sort it out. We'll work with you, Brian. Don't look so surprised. We'll work this out with you. So perhaps Derek, you can help me here now. So it's on the 5th, which is what, this coming Sunday, is it?
It is Pearson.
So it's this coming Sunday at the JB complex, Simpson complex in Emerald City area in 6 Roads, beginning at 5 in the afternoon. I'm trying to picture, because I'm in the area a lot, so I'm trying to picture where the court is.
Okay, so upon approach, say you're approaching from Oldbury.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and you're driving, the complex will be on your right.
Right.
It is right as soon as the car park starts. That's
right, where it is. Right. Okay, I got you. So you take the first entrance there to your right. I get it now. I get it. So that's where it's going to be. This road tennis is it a competition or is it simply an exhibition?
Well,
It will be a competition, but it's starting off as an exhibition, just to get the Philippines, as we refer to ourselves, all
Yes.
involved, so that they can showcase their talent. There will be some youngsters that will want to showcase some talent. Competitive drives. So that's all it's about, and fun.
So you're saying to your respective districts in the parish of St. Philip that you need to register to be a part of this exhibition, and how can people do so?
Okay, in order to register, you can go to our Instagram page, that is Philip IC, on Instagram, and you can also follow our page on Facebook as well, to go through the process of registering. Okay. It's right there. You can't miss it.
Simone, you're back. Sound your voice. Let me hear good morning, Simone.
Unfortunately, I can't hear anything.
Oh my gospel. I could hear you and now you can't hear me.
Okay.
Oh my word.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Are we good now? We good? Good. Welcome back, Simone. Good to see you. So,
thank you.
One of
these, you as well.
Thank you. You're one of these Philippines who considers herself a part of just one family, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you prepared to play the road tennis on Sunday?
I'm not 100% prepared, and my male parish master can tell you I'm not the best at road tennis.
Yes.
But there are workshops to help people like me who can't play to learn how to play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those workshops are also going to be a part of your project within the community?
Yes, because it's actually helping with community engagement and community interaction. It's also empowering because you do learn another skill, and I'm pretty sure road tennis does help with coordination as well. So it is community empowerment and community engagement.
Even you can play it, I'm sure, but get your knees ready, girl. You're going to have to be down there at your back so that you can play those balls as it goes. It's a beautiful sport. It's indigenous to Barbados, and certainly we are the creators of it, so we have to do it. And what a great place to start it, but at St. Philip, right? After all, that's where one family lives. And so we're encouraging all of Barbados to come to be a part of the family celebration this Sunday from 5 in the afternoon. This is fantastic. So Brian, before you began to break up, what were you telling me? I don't recall. I didn't hear.
I was showkeeper, the newest court in Barbados, and we have the court has popping colors. So I'm asking for Philippines to come out and come get a soul from me or one of the ambassadors, because we're ready. We always ready. We always ready with the road tennis. We training, so we're ready.
You guys are happy. I love it. I love it.
I also wanted to make mention of the other activities that we are having, just to plug in. So I'm not, we have the resume clinic, the team initiative, and then we have the talent workshops, which we want to develop talent within our parish. And shop is the 25th. However, we are asking, we want to get persons to enter the competition and make their entries at least by the 25th of June, same day, so that we can gear ourselves to a talent show in July. So, yeah, we have a lot in store for our family that we call St. Philip.
Yes. There you go. So there's a lot going on. So who's going to tell me about this other post that we just saw there? This sounds like, it seems as if, can you share that again, folks, in the back? So we can talk a little bit about this Molding St. Philip Resume Clinic. Perhaps you can tell me about that, Simone.
That's no problem. Okay, so what we've noticed, we've done basically community interaction, and we've noticed that many of our youth, they're now transitioning from school and they would love jobs, you know, and being that we're now opening back from COVID, you're seeing a lot of job openings. So what we want to present to the community, especially the youth, is an opportunity to basically have your cover letter and your resume ready. So we have a workshop with professionals who can come tell you what you need to improve, what you need to take out, basically making you prepared for that interview.
Wow, you guys have really sat down and thought of a number of things. So this coming Sunday, road tennis. By the 25th, get your entries in for the big talent show. On the 18th is when you're having the clinic for resume and cover letter preparation. I'm calling off the top of my head. So, you know, and I'm not from St. Philip. Can you imagine the folks in St. Philip noting all of this down as well? So from you, Derek, tell me what else. Is there anything else happening in the month of June in the parish?
Well, outside of the resume clinic and there's also the launch, our launch, our official launch, and that will be on the 5th as well.
Mm-hmm. So everybody's going to the J.B. Simpson complex.
Yes, definitely.
All right, this is fantastic. I want to wish all of you the absolute best indeed. I know you guys are going to come hard, as St. Philip and the Philippines always do. It's the parish where one family lives, and so let's kick it off with the launch this coming Sunday and with an exhibition road tennis competition if you're in your respective districts and you want to be a part of it, because they want you to come out and support as well. Don't forget, you need to register, and you can register on Facebook at St. Philip Parish Ambassadors, or you can give them a call on 251-1226, 251-1226 to register for the tournament. Come to represent your district and register your team for the upcoming tournament. So this is one, now they're playing for over 90 years, road tennis has been indeed. So did you know that? So this coming Sunday from 5 in the afternoon, the launch and the road tennis competition starts. Register your communities and get ready for a whole month of fun and festivity as one family in St. Philip. Thank you so very much, Brian, Derek, and Simone. I can only wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
You're very welcome indeed. St. Philip, the Philippines have landed, folks. That's the parish where one family lives, they say. Let's experience it starting this Sunday. A break, and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 24 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. Have you ever heard of the organization Ocean Acres Animal Sanctuary? And do you know that they've embarked now on a spay and neuter project? Why, you ask? We'll ask that question too. Karen Whitaker is the founder and executive director of Ocean Acres Animal Sanctuary in Barbados. Good morning to you, Ms. Whitaker.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I could hear the animals going off. That's all right. Now, one of the I've read your that's okay. I've read your brief, and you said to us in the brief that the overpopulation of dogs and cats in Barbados is at a crisis level. How did you arrive at that?
It is. Because constantly we are being shown and called and contacted about animals that are in a desperate state. It's not just one dog now and again or one cat, it's many. Litters of constantly coming to us, either found, abandoned, or people calling because they can't look after them, or people have found them one way or another, you know. And they don't come to us in a good state either, usually. They come infested with maggots and parasites and diseases. So this is so unnecessary. It's unnecessary suffering. And it's unnecessary for us to have this, you know, going on in Barbados, really. Dogs and cats are companion animals, and they deserve to be sort of treated as such. And I think we could all do a little bit better in this regard.
Arms. And because of that, that's the area I'm sticking on for just a moment. How did we get here? What happened? And can you tell me a little bit about the proliferation of dogs and cats, really, that would have caused this overpopulation that you're seeing?
Okay, I don't think it's particularly a new thing. I think this has been going on for some time now, but I don't think it's been addressed. It's a hard thing to sort out, you know. The only solution is to spay and neuter and to hit it hard and fast for a concentrated period of time. So I think there's always been a lot of cats and dogs, but more and more now people are finding that they can bring them to us. So we are becoming more aware of it, and we're making it more known to people. And I think it's time for the change. I think people don't always realize the consequences. They have a dog, perhaps, and they keep it tied up. It can't go anywhere. If it's a female dog, it can't escape. So any passing dog will cause it to become pregnant. Then it has the puppies. The people don't necessarily know what to do with the puppies. So they either survive or they don't. They don't always get a lot of care. They perhaps give them away to other people. And the same thing happens again. So that female dog has puppies, its female dog has puppies, on and on and on. And I think it's a statistic that one female dog in its lifetime can be responsible for 67,000 puppies. Well, do you know 67,000 people who want a dog? You know, it's just crazy. So we need to educate and facilitate the spaying and neutering of the dogs, but I would go a little bit further than that, and I would say to people, please don't have a dog unless you absolutely want one. Unless you want a dog and you want it to be a companion animal. Dogs aren't just, you know, cheap security systems that you can tie up outside your house to bark if somebody comes. They're more than that. They're pack animals, they're social animals. They need company, they need companionship, and they need care. So not everybody has got the time or the money or wants to do that. But that doesn't mean that it's okay to tie the dog up and ignore it and allow it to become pregnant and make more dogs.
Part of the crisis we're seeing is that people are not paying enough attention to this dog that they had, and as a consequence, its proliferation is such that it's out of control now. Now, your project is a spay and neuter project. How can that project arrest this crisis?
Well, very easily, because if you think about the statistic that I just quoted, it takes some time. It's not an immediate fix, but if you think that one dog can be responsible in its lifetime for 67,000 puppies, if you take that one dog out by spaying it, not going to have puppies, it's not just one dog that you've spayed. You've stopped that whole pyramid. So if you think in pyramids, you stop one dog, and that whole mountain of puppies that it would have had in its lifetime is stopped. So if you do that for 10 dogs, that's 10 mountains. And that's the way it works. I suppose it's a little bit like, you could think of it in terms of vaccination. If you just vaccinate one person, it doesn't have a massive effect, but when lots of people, then it does. So you eventually get to a tipping point. And that's what we need to do with the spay and neuter. We need to have more dogs spayed and neutered than not. There's no need for these dogs to have puppies. Nobody wants them. All of the shelters are full, and they end up either on the streets. It's not uncommon for the cruelty that we see is shocking. People don't want their puppies, and they poison them, or they throw them down wells. Or those two puppies in the picture that you see there, they were rescued from down a well. Somebody just threw them down there because they didn't want them. Well, far better to not have them in the first place. And even better, don't have the mother dog, and as I say, don't just have a dog and think that it doesn't come without some responsibilities, because it does. And it's not for everybody.
Some who are of the view that should you spay a dog, that you are interrupting the reproductive process, that they are meant to be reproduced, eventually they become extinct. How do you respond to that?
I don't think there's any danger of that. And as custodians, we have domesticated animals. They chose to live with us thousands of years ago, dogs especially. We are the for managing that. And if we can't look after this proliferation of puppies that we're allowing to be here, then it's really not fair, I don't think, for us to continue to allow that to happen. And I think that we should be more humane and have a sense of responsibility towards these dogs and cats. All animals, we have a responsibility towards the planet, not just dogs and cats. So we need to take that responsibility seriously. Things have changed. Barbados is a small place.
You're starting the spay and neuter project, and I can hear someone at home thinking, yeah, perfect, I want to take my dog to be spayed. So is it as simple as that? And if so, how can people be a part of the project?
They just need to contact us. They can get in touch with us. I think you have our contact information. We're all over social media. We have a website. Also, Canine Friends Barbados offer a very low-cost spay and neuter service. So speak to them, speak to us, speak to somebody. The thing to do is to take some action here, because just by neutering your male dog, and people don't seem to want to neuter their male dogs especially, it's so much better for them. It prevents a lot of health issues, and it stops all of these puppies. Those puppies that you see in the pictures there, they're suffering. It costs a fortune to try and save their life. It'd be far better if they actually come into existence. There's no need for them. They don't need to suffer. We don't need to be chasing down everybody to give us money to try and keep them alive. We just need to control the breeding of these dogs. If you want a dog, have a dog. Just have one dog. You don't need to have litters of puppies.
I see you've started a GoFundMe project. What's the aim of that?
It's to get funds together, because, as I say, it costs us an awful lot of money. We have between 150 and 200 dogs on site at any one time, and this is because this constant stream of dogs that people don't want, because the puppies, obviously, if they don't come to us as puppies, they grow into dogs. So a little 8 puppies becomes 6 dogs if they all survive. So at some point, not many people want to keep 6 or 8 dogs, so they end up with us or one of the other shelters. So we need money. It costs a fortune, an absolute fortune, every single month to keep caring for these animals with feed and vet bills and all the transport and the gas that we have to pay to get them about here and there to the vets and things. It's a phenomenal amount, and a phenomenal amount of effort and time, which we wouldn't need to do if there weren't so many. And then when we get calls from people who genuinely need some help because perhaps they're sick or they're ill or they've got to go into hospital or they're leaving the country and they want us to take their dog, we can't help them because we're full with all these unnecessary dogs and puppies that are allowed to be made. So we're just asking people. Sorry.
So if folks need to know more, you can go to the website oceanacresanimalsanctuary.org, oceanacresanimalsanctuary.org, and you can know more about the Spay Neuter project, and you can also get linked to the GoFundMe campaign as well. So
I would encourage people to come and visit us as well and take a look, and you can get a good idea when you see just how many. You can get an idea of what we're dealing with.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Karen Whitaker, founder and executive director of the Ocean Acres Animal Sanctuary. Thank you so much for joining us. Much success with your Spay and Neuter project and the GoFundMe campaign as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll be looking into Agro Fest. If you missed it like I did, then let's take a first look at it after the break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Well, I just saw a note come in that said that the Barbados Setting Power's planned emergency maintenance work, which should have started this morning, will now be postponed owing to some problems they had. It's now postponed until Sunday coming at 9 in the morning, so there we are. All right. Agro Fest 2022, a Caribbean thing, happened last weekend. Some of us didn't get to go, but we know we had a contingent in from Guyana. So many of them flocked to the Agro Fest in Queen's Park, and so many of you. So let's hear now from Kibian Chester Harding, the Senior Export Promotion Officer, and Gavin Bovell, who is the Trade and Investment Consultant in the Guyana Office for Investment, as they talk to us about just how did it all work out for them. Take a look.
We are here at Agro Fest 2022 and we are having a really great turnout. Guyana is represented by 56 business delegates of companies exhibiting products and services to the Barbados community. And I must say it's been an extremely promising experience for us. Over the last week, we have been engaging companies in Barbados to partner with our companies in Guyana. I know you would have known of the St. Barnabas Accord. Well, this is one of the activities that basically give a head start to the St. Barnabas Accord. With me is our trade and investment consultant who will be working here in Barbados for the Guyana Office for Investment, Mr. Gavin Bovell. I will now hand you over to him to give some remarks. Gavin?
Thanks, Kibian. It's been an amazing experience. I think I can speak for most of the exhibitors when I say the response has been overwhelmingly wonderful. The sales that they've gotten, the partnerships that they've made have been very promising. Even before today, we had a number of delegates that just came up not just to exhibit, but to engage in B2B meetings with the Barbados private sector. And Kibian and the team were able to have successful meetings where, agreements have been, essentially made. There are a number of distribution partnerships that have been agreed upon. There's a bit of, fine print that needs to be done, but those agreements and those relationships are an indication of the promise that St. Barnabas Accord seeks to fulfill for Barbados and Guyana. We've had excellent service from our counterparts at Export Barbados in terms of their facilitation and just their customer service in handling our request, facilitating the exhibitors, and also ensuring that they assist us in building these relationships. And one of the things that we're working on is actually utilizing one of our exhibitors here, Stabroek Marketplace Barbados, to really continue this work that has been done by the Barbados Agriculture Society in creating Agro Fest as a medium through which trade can be catalyzed. Barbados Marketplace, the Stabroek Marketplace Barbados, will utilize some of the products that have remained unsold, and they will provide a virtual platform where locals and those outside of Barbados can access these products for sale. So essentially, what we're seeking to do is to extend this initiative of Agro Fest, of trade and integration, beyond just this weekend, and to see it build in a sustainable way. Right? We're looking forward to, I'm looking forward to really begin, building out these relationships that we know are there and that we know are possible in terms of driving the supply chain from Guyana to Barbados, and also looking at how we get products from Barbados to Guyana, working with Export Barbados, working with the business community, and building, stronger ties and stronger relationships. So the collaboration between Stabroek Marketplace and Go Invest is really not only Stabroek Marketplace and Go Invest. The collaboration includes local logistics service provider Price World, who will actually be fulfilling that last mile delivery. So once your products are purchased online on Stabroek Marketplace Barbados, Price World will be fulfilling the on-the-ground, direct-to-your-door delivery that they have done exceptionally well during COVID for us here in Barbados. So I believe definitely those are the types of relationships and collaborations that Agro Fest, that St. Barnabas Accord has afforded us to have, and I look forward to those types of cross-border collaborative initiatives to really increase our services and value delivered to the customers of more affordable and more convenient products and services in both Barbados and Guyana. Additionally, as part of the St. Barnabas Accord, Export Barbados has actually created a space for the Guyana Office of Investment, to have a presence here in Barbados, and the same has been done for Export Barbados in Guyana. So that office is located in the Pelican Village, and that will see a lot of activity and be a hub for where persons who are coming up from Guyana can actually utilize as almost as a co-working space. If they need to come up to build their relationships, there's a space available to them. And I think it was an excellent initiative between Export Barbados and Guyana to create this facility, so that you have not only the policy, but you have the supporting environment that is conducive to building long-lasting and sustainable trade relationships. So I definitely think that will augur well for how the St. Barnabas Accord is really implemented. And I look forward to when the work really begins. And actually, the work has already begun with Agro Fest. The relationships have already been introduced, so to speak. And definitely, I look forward to being, that conduit through which Guyana can access Barbados, and through which Barbados can access Guyana. And I definitely believe that this St. Barnabas Accord, will be a representation of the model that CARICOM can use going forward to build out how our regional integration, should really be. And I really thank His Excellency President Ali and Prime Minister Mia Mottley for having the vision and the foresight to dedicate the resources to this initiative.
So that was a look at Agro Fest and the response by our delegation from Guyana, our brothers and sisters there. That's it for today, everybody. I want to thank you so much for joining us today, whether you're here in Barbados or somewhere else across the world. We always welcome you to the beautiful shores of Barbados through the eyes of Morning Barbados. Today, my production crew has been Alicia Asgrant, who you saw doing the smell test very early in the feature. Roel Ford, our technical director. Michael Sobers has been our sound engineer. Tamisha Green at Master Control. I'm Pearson Boyne. Thank you, and looking forward to see you again tomorrow, if it be God's will. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.
Socoholics, Socatologists, Soca lovers. Our season has started and we are getting festival ready with CBC and 98.1 to 1 After Work Soca Lives. From Thursday, June 2nd, we start the action at CBC Car Park with your favorite 98.1 DJs as they play the biggest Soca hits. So come out and enjoy the vibes, have a drink, and let me live at the home of all festivals. Stay tuned to all CBC stations and social media for more information about the After Work Soca Lives. 98.1 to 1, the official party station.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you.